Welcome. In this video, we shall be looking at the object extension methods that were introduced in ES6. That is the object.assign and object.is. We shall also take a bit of time to look at object.is as it compares to other methods that were used for comparison. That is the strict equality comparison method and the abstract equality comparison methods. My name is Kelvin, and I am a software developer based in Nairobi, Kenya, and my goal is to help you go through technical documentations so that you may have an understanding of the tools that you're working with. If you're new here, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below. Let us dive in. Object.assign. From the definition, it states that it is used to assign a enumerable and own property from one or more source objects to a target object. It can be used to clone an object or merge objects. That is a mouthful, so let us take time to break down what these statements mean. I've already added in the syntax for the object.assign. You can see that it takes in a target, then source. And source can be a list of objects. Target is also an object. To start us off, I have already defined two objects, A and B. Let us try to merge these two objects. You can already see that by using the object.assign extension method, we are getting a merged object. You will also notice that in this case, for the target object, I am just using an empty object. If you wish not to use this, you can pass in a defined object. For instance, I can have an object defined, let us call it C. And instead of using the merged object, we can now pass out C. And you can see it contains the same result of A and B merged. Maybe something to note is you can also have properties defined in C. And you can see that it will be part of the merge. One thing to note about merging object is the last object or the rightmost object will take precedence if the property exists in these other objects. Let's say, for instance, we have the same property A in object B. And from the merged results, you can see that A becomes 10, even though the first object, A, is 1. So that is one thing to note. I don't know about you, but if I was told to merge objects, I would not use the .assign method. I would actually prefer to use the spread operator. So instead of using the object.assign, I can easily just spread A and B on C. And you can see that we get the same results. It is very short and very clean. That is the approach that I would prefer to use when it comes to merging objects. The other use case for object.assign is to clone an object. But before we look at that, let us try to use the assignment operator to clone A. So I will get rid of C and assign A to B. And you can see that B is returning A. But this is not cloning. Why? If I come and override any property in A that has been assigned to B, let us see what happens. So I will say B dot A is now equal to, let us say, 10. You can see that the result in B is 10. But if we console the result of A, you will notice something interesting. you will notice that A is also 10, which is strange. And the reason is very simple. When we use the assignment operator, we are still referencing A. We are not creating a new instance of A. Because we know objects are reference value, it is basically referencing the same memory address, which is different from when we are using primitives. So let us look at how object.assign can be used to clone an object. And it is very simple. So instead of just passing in A, we can use object.assign, then having an empty target, then pass the object that we want to clone. In this case, A. That is it. So let us try to override the property A in B. So b.a, let us now assign 10 to it. We can see that the result of A in object B is different from the result of property A in object A. So we have here 1 and we have here 10. But as I had mentioned in the previous example, I will also prefer to use the spread operator to merge or to clone objects in this case, rather than using the .assign extension method. And I will simply do it this way. Then spread A on that. And you can see that we are basically getting the same result. To me, this looks very clean and very short and easy to understand compared to writing extra lines of code to do the same thing. Let us now take a look at another object extension method, that is Object.is. Just to start us off with the syntax, it is very simple. Object.is, then we have a value 1, then a value 2. So what does this method do? It basically determines whether two values are the same. But before we go deep to look into Object.is, let us first take a look at some equality comparisons and sameness. And for the purposes of this video, we shall only look at the abstract equality comparison, which is denoted by 2 equal signs, then the strict equality comparison. Let us start off with the abstract equality comparison. For the abstract comparison equality, it is used to compare two values, but it type converts for us. In this case, you can see in the example, I have 1, which is a number, and I have 1, which is a string. It basically converts the types for us. It evaluates both of them to the same type, and it returns the compared result. In this case, it is true. So 1 number and 1 string is true. If we do 1 number and 1 number, we also get true. Apart from comparing the values and type conversion, it also automatically handles some special cases. For instance, when we try to compare -0 and +0, you can see that it returns true. These are special cases in mathematics. When we also try to compare not a number and not a number, you can see it returns false. So it handles these use cases or these special cases for us. The main difference between the abstract equality comparison and the strict equality comparison is the type conversion. All these special cases are the same. So for the strict comparison, equality comparison, you can see it handles it the same way, the special cases, not a number. When we use -0 and +0, you can see it handles it the same way. But when we try to match values of different types, you can see it returns false. So number 1 is not the same as string 1. It does not convert the types for us. Let us now take a look at the Object.is method. The main difference between object.is with the abstract equality and the strict equality comparison, it does not handle the special cases, but it handles every other thing the same way the strict equality handles it. Let us look at an example using one number and one string. And you can see that it returns false. So the same way that the strict equality comparison does not type convert is the same way object.is handles those cases. But when it comes to these special cases of not a number, for the other comparison, equality comparison, that is the abstract and strict, it returned false. But when using object.is, you can see that it returns true. And if we use another case, let us say -0 and +0, you can see it returns false, whereas in the abstract equality and strict equality comparison, it was returning true. If you have found value in this video, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe to this channel. In case any link was mentioned in this video, you can find it in the description section of this video. Thank you and see you in the next one.